Carlos Alcaraz attacked again by bees. The Mercian is delighting fans with his game in California and also with his humor. In his last match, he had a funny moment with some fans who reminded him of last year's incident. Spanish star Carlos Alcaraz gave no chance to Canadian Denis Shapovalov, crushing him 6-2, 6-4 in just 1 hour and 23 minutes to advance to the round of 16 at the Indian Wells Masters 1000, continuing his title defense in the Californian desert. Alcaraz has now won 14 consecutive matches at this tournament, having lifted the trophy in his last 2 visits. This year, he is chasing a historic three-peat, a feat only achieved by Swiss legend Roger Federer and Serbian great Novak Djokovic. With the elimination of Germany's Alexander Zverev, the world number 2, Alcaraz is now the highest-ranked player left in the tournament. But it's not just his game that is dazzling. His sense of humor and his ability to engage with fans have also stood out. The 20-year-old from El Palmar misses no detail. For instance, in his last match, he noticed a group of fans dressed as bees, reminding him of the unpleasant incident from last year when a swarm invaded his court, forcing the match to be suspended until the bees were removed. After defeating Denis Shapovalov, Alcaraz took the opportunity to interact with these fans, taking a selfie with them and sharing it on his social media. This week, he also had another nice gesture with fans, handing out several tennis balls to those who attended his final practice session before facing the Canadian. Carlos Alcaraz stays grounded. The reigning Indian Wells champion aims to defend his crown but knows the toughest challenges are still ahead. After his win against Shapovalov, he remained cautious. "I know I've been playing good tennis with my title in Dallas and a solid performance in Acapulco. I wanted to start strong, stay focused on my game, and get into rhythm. I knew it was going to be a tough battle, and I'm happy with how I started. Mentally, it was tough, but I'm happy to advance. Nerves are good. Today, I didn't feel as nervous as in my first match. I was more relaxed today. I played better than in my first match. I'll try to improve, especially my serve, which I've been working on. Hopefully, I can improve my percentages and reduce some of the mistakes I made in the second set," Alcaraz added. Nadal highlights what the Big Three taught Alcaraz and Sinner: "You don't have to hate your rivals." Rafael Nadal spoke on former US player Andy Roddick's podcast about one of the most valuable lessons the Big Three, Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, and himself, have passed on to the new generation led by Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. The Spaniard, who retired last November after a 20-year career and 22 Grand Slam titles, discussed his intense rivalry with Federer and Djokovic and the importance of mutual respect. He believes this respect has influenced the new generation, preventing them from seeing each other as enemies. "It was a fierce rivalry, but we never lost sight of the fact that we are human beings. We respected each other, and I think that has helped the new generation to avoid hating each other. You can respect and appreciate your rivals because, in the end, they are part of your life. You don't have to hate your opponents to give your best." Nadal praised Alcaraz for his values. "Carlos is a fantastic guy with a great family behind him, with positive values. They are humble, good people. That's the truth. That's why I think Carlos is the way he is, because he's been raised with these values at home, and that's how he presents himself." He also commented on current world number 1 Jannik Sinner, recognizing his ability to maintain focus despite facing tough challenges, including the scrutiny he received after testing positive for doping. "Jannik is another good guy, very focused on his work. He went through a very tough period last year, and it's incredible how he stayed committed to his goals. This new generation of great players will continue to help our beautiful sport grow and engage fans." Carlos Alcaraz breaks Nadal's record. Carlos Alcaraz has now won 18 of his first 20 matches at Indian Wells, surpassing the records of Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer, who both had 17 wins. He has matched Roscoe Tanner but is still behind Jimmy Connors, who won 19. Alcaraz's love affair with Indian Wells is one of the strongest in modern tennis. The Mercian thrives on the Coachella Valley courts like no one else. He hasn't lost a match here since 2022, and after winning the last 2 titles, he has now reached the 4th round after defeating Denis Shapovalov. His record of 18-2 in his first 20 matches at this tournament places him second only to Jimmy Connors, who had a 19-1 record. He ties Roscoe Tanner but surpasses legends like Nadal and Federer, who had a 17-3 record. 2 legends stopped his perfect record. Despite being only 21 years old, Alcaraz has played in 4 editions of Indian Wells. His debut came in 2021, a tournament delayed until October due to the COVID-19 pandemic. He lost in the first round to Andy Murray in a tough 3-set battle, a challenging test for a teenager at the time. His other loss came in the 2022 semifinals against none other than Rafael Nadal, in what was the last time the Spanish legend defeated him, requiring 3 grueling sets. Alcaraz reveals the key change that improved his game at Indian Wells. It has worked. Carlos Alcaraz's success at Indian Wells may be attributed to his improved focus in key moments, the court suiting his game perfectly, or simply feeling comfortable with his tennis. However, after his third-round victory over Denis Shapovalov, 6-2, 6-4, he was asked in a press conference about a particular change that might be making a difference. For a tennis player, the racket is everything, and even the slightest adjustment can lead to significant changes in performance. The weight of the racket is one of the most crucial factors, typically hovering around 300 grams. A small modification in weight distribution can impact power, control, and maneuverability, ultimately affecting a player's confidence and shot execution. Understanding the importance of these details, Carlos Alcaraz made a strategic decision during the preseason to tweak his equipment. The young Spaniard opted to add 5 extra grams to his racket, a seemingly minor adjustment that appears to have yielded substantial benefits. "I wasn't one of the players with the lightest racket, but I felt it was a bit too light, so I wanted to add some weight and see if it improved certain aspects of my game," Alcaraz explained in a press conference. The adjustment, though small, has proven to be effective in crucial moments during matches. It has worked. For example, I thought it could help in specific situations, like when I hit the ball on the run. Now, I also feel the ball better and notice that I hit with more power. I think it was a good change for me, he concluded. This seemingly minor modification could be one of the reasons behind Alcaraz's strong performances at Indian Wells. His added power and improved ball feel have contributed to his consistency in rallies and allowed him to dictate points with greater authority. With each match, the adjustment continues to prove its worth, reinforcing the idea that even the smallest changes can make a significant impact at the highest level of tennis. The draw opens up for Alcaraz. With the early eliminations of top seeds like Alexander Zverev and Novak Djokovic, Carlos Alcaraz finds himself as the highest-ranked player remaining in the Indian Wells draw. This significantly increases his chances of achieving a historic third consecutive title at what many call tennis paradise. However, while the path may seem more accessible on paper, the reality is that the competition remains fierce, and Alcaraz will have to maintain his high level of play if he wants to lift the trophy once again. His next challenge comes in the form of Grigor Dimitrov, a highly experienced and talented player who has been a staple on the ATP Tour for over a decade. The Bulgarian, known for his elegant playing style and fluid one-handed backhand, possesses the skill set to trouble any opponent on his day. Dimitrov has already shown strong form in this tournament, and his ability to mix up play with slices, net approaches, and powerful ground strokes could pose a unique challenge for Alcaraz. Beyond Dimitrov, the road to the title is filled with other dangerous opponents, including rising stars and experienced veterans. With the crowd firmly behind him and his confidence growing with each match, Alcaraz will need to stay focused and continue displaying the brilliant tennis that has made him one of the most exciting players in the sport.